This is your spiritual connection, ourplanetlife.org, broadcasting from Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Hello and welcome to DFW Business Hour on ourplanetlive.org, and thank you for joining us today. I am your host, Art Garcia, today for this segment, and today we have Steve Romaine with Express Digital. Today we're going to be talking about imaging. Steve, hello and welcome to DFW Business Hour.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking the time from your busy schedule and coming to talk to us about digital imaging.
Thank you.
When and how did you start your business?
Well, we started 22 years ago as a software company for accounting.
Mm-hmm.
And over the years, when we first started, we would do software accounting had to be in manual form. You would get the software, then you would get a host of books and pamphlets and brochures that this is how you install all the software. Well, over the years, technology-wise and then business-wise, it would slow down at some point during the year, and one of our owners, W.P. Ward, would go out and talk to printers. And we would do printing for brokers, for printing companies themselves. So that's how it started. And now we have become a printing company, FlexPress Digital, and then we're also a software company, which is Certiflex. So we have the best of both worlds when you want to talk to us about problems with the digital or the data end of it, and do the printing also.
Okay, how long has FlexPress Digital been in existence?
22 years.
22 years?
Yes.
My goodness, you've been around for a couple of decades there.
Yes.
That's great. Why FlexPress?
It's off of the accounting name, which was Certiflex. So they just made a derivative of that, and it became FlexPress. And we're very flexible, too, about what we can do.
Okay. Well, how did you already kind of expressed a little bit how FlexPress got started, the history of it, and you're in a software specializing also accounting?
Yes, accounting.
Uh-huh. Okay. Is all the work nowadays done digital?
Well, they're still offset, but from our standpoint, it's what we do, and it's the best. We've been at it now for 22 years at doing this. We're very good at it from the standpoint we give very customized service to print brokers. That's our major field. We have all our equipment online at our premises. And we deal with print brokers. They go out and find business, come back to us, and we do their work for them, and they go back out and sell it again. And it's very sophisticated from when it started, which was just basically black and white copies, and now we do extremely sophisticated artwork and printing.
I can deal with that because I used to be a printer operator on the Xerox 9700. That kind of tells you a little bit. And it was mostly black and white printing back then.
Yes.
It's changed a lot nowadays to color, imaging, and other stuff.
Well, the future right now looks like black and white is going to go away over the next 5 years. Digital printing is supposed to climb 30% a year. Black and white copiers will go away because the printing itself for digital printing is changing. It's just going to be cheaper, easier to work with.
I would think that black and white is common for everything, just about.
It is, but technology-wise, it's coming to where the color will just be cheaper.
Okay, that's nice to know. I was going to ask you if anybody wants to get a hold of Steve Romaine, how would they go about that? Do you have a phone number?
Have a phone number, which is 214-862-2385, or an email address, which is steve@flexpress.com.
You also have a great website. I was checking it out last night. It gives you a lot of information about the business.
Yes, it does. We've been very fortunate to have some very progressive owners moving with the digital age like this.
The services that you provide are digital printing, specialty papers.
We can do them now. Let me go back. One thing I think I think printing for us has become something different. It's now, I think imaging is a better word. And the reason is, if you say I'm just a printer in the digital imaging, you become trapped in this particular small segment.
I see.
If you say imaging, you can now do T-shirts, shirts. You can do silk screen. You can do signs. You can do banners. You can do a host of things that are all predicated on right here, the flash drive.
Yeah. That's taken over.
It's taken everything over. And so this right here allows us to do things. You can, as you know, before when you were in the printing, you had all these boards. You had mounds and mounds of boards, plates, all these things that were required to get an image on paper. Well, this now is probably the one simple thing that allows you to save money, if nothing else, in transportation costs. Because when I was in a different world and I sold engraved stationery to law firms, we used to have to package everything up for FedEx every night.
Yeah.
Boards, we'd have boards and we'd have all this stuff and we put together and we'd ship it out that night. And we were fast. It was really fast back then. But what would happen would be, well, nowadays, you'd have all this that would go up there, they'd have to get it out, unpackage it, look at it, and say, oh, yeah, well, then they would send me back some more stuff, and they'd send me back a proof by FedEx. So you might have $300 in freight costs from Federal Express to just get one image okayed and everything set up. Nowadays, as you know, stick it in the old computer, zap, it's up there, everybody looks at it, said, Steve, we got to do this, or we got to do this, and we'll send you bound an image. And you're talking, in theory, nanoseconds to compare to days, and it's just, art, as you know, it's changed.
Yeah, you kind of read my mind on cost. I was going to ask you on the cost of shipping all that back and forth. I'm sure you got a big bill at the end of the month.
We got a huge bill. This one particular law firm, we spent $600 on freight for just shipping proofs back and forth, and $3,000 in proofs, just because no one could make up their mind on what they want to do. Today, you would hit the button, you would make your changes, and it'd come back down, and what you see is what you get now.
Zap, it's there.
Yeah.
Was Flex Press under another name, or did it have a previous owner?
No, we've always been Certiflex Flex Press, so that's always what we've been. So as far as the printing industry knows, in this area of the country, we have always been Flex Press.
Over a period of time, Flex Press has grown to become a digital imaging company. I was going to say printing, but you say that's obsolete.
I think it's obsolete. I don't think anybody else thinks that, but it just, the freedom you get when you say imaging is much more than being trapped in the word printing. It's just so many more, you just have options that are just there that you don't have if you say printing sometimes.
So the key word in your, in digital, is going to be digital, right?
Digital is the word.
Digital.
I mean, this is digital, and when we look at it from that point, this allows, digital in itself allows, and this is my big deal about digital printing, it allows someone who's starting business, or who's a medium-sized company, or a small company, this is the key words, buy what you need. That's it. If you need 250 brochures, or 500 brochures, we've done 50 brochures for somebody going somewhere. You have these freedoms as a small business owner to look at what monies you need. Well, I don't need 500 of these, 250 of these will do fine. One of the problems with buying when you have offset is you have to buy more to get past the startup cost. So and the other thing is if you buy more than you need, it's already been proven up to 35% of these overruns are thrown away or tossed because they're obsolete. You're making shells for business cards and you've got all these 50 names in here you've got to put on all the time. You move. Well, what are you going to do with all these letterheads, business cards, all this stuff? Just you toss it out.
Yeah, it's a waste of money.
Waste of money. You got to store it someplace, and you're not in the business of being a storage company. You're in the business of selling whatever you sell. So if you needed, okay, I need 50 more, Steve. We print them for you. It's that simple.
Great. Can you describe the equipment on site?
We have an IGN 3, an IGN 4, 2 Docutechs. We have cutters, folders, substantial, anything you want to do along those lines. We've been very fortunate. We have very good equipment. We have a very dedicated staff.
I see that you also do bindery.
We do bindery work.
That's like for a book?
We do books,
magazine.
Brochures, magazines. We do anything along those lines from, if you want to say, brochures, booklets, large books. We've done those. We've done books that are this thick from time to time. We do whatever we need to do. And it works out. We're very good at service to our customers.
I was looking at the printers. You have a Xerox IGN 3 and 4. What's the difference in those two?
Different generations, which have, as you know, is printers go and they get a new piece of equipment if it's this. So you have a different generation and things they can do. And there's more coming online as we look at, in particular, we'll use Xerox. They've got a Xerox 150. So what we're seeing in the digital age right now is you're going to be able to have larger paper sizes, which is going to make it easier to do certain things. The abilities they're showing up now are like a matte toner. This matte toner will make it look more like offset. The ability to do white ink, which is a very expensive process, and we're saying white toner, not ink.
White toner.
So it'll go through in 4 pass. It'll go through in 1 pass, and all of a sudden you've got something different. So it's moving more and more. It looks like more. It's going to look like more like printing. It's going to be more options that no one's had in the past. We're moving. The technology is just moving in this direction for digital printers.
I was interested in that white toner. I've never seen white toner. I've seen black toner that I used to put.
It's just come out. It's the new big deal. It's what's coming out to make people say, I got to have one of these.
Well, what is that white toner?
It's going to give you, white ink usually has to be printed 2 or 3 times to get that white image you want. Doing it this way is going to allow that it's just going to run through and you're going to have an image that looks like printing, and it's going to give you something else that you didn't have before. And the other thing is going to be on this. It may be you only need 250. Well, you don't have to print 1,000 to get what you need. If you need 250 or 50, all these advantages are going to come, and you're going to do smaller and smaller runs. That's one of the big things is going to happen in the industry. It's going to be more small runs. This is the way the industry is going.
So actually, the customer will be saving money. He says, I only need 250. 250
Correct.
is what you're going to get.
He's going to get this because the way it's how we're going. If you look at the economy today and the beating everybody's taking in it, we have no choice. You as a small businessman are going to have to say, I cannot continue to do 5,000 of these or 2,000 of these. This is what I need. And it's the economy, it's technology. This is how we're going.
So I think the customer is actually going to look for your business because you are going to supply what he needs, not you have to buy this much to get this discount.
It's called service.
Customer service.
Customer service, and we feel this is the way it's going to be. is that who wants to go in and buy something from somebody and say, well, I just need this, and the guy says, well, you got to buy this. And it's, all of us are this way. And I go back again to the small businessman or the businessman. He says, I only need 500 sheep. I only need this. I don't need this. So I think from a stance of customer service, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at the ability to do more with less. You're going to have more money, and you're going to have exactly what you need, and it's going to give you freedoms to spend your money on what you need to run your business. You're not going to be forced to buy more or anything along these lines. So I think it's very important we do these things.
I think so too. I like that phrase. Do more with less.
Yeah, well, I think that's what we've all been forced to do, whether we want to or not.
What are the areas of the Metroplex or the nation do you cover?
We're very strong in DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth area. We're very strong there. We do a lot out of Chicago. And for whatever reason, over the years, we've become specialized, a lot of specialization in educational companies. We have just over the years evolved into that too. This is one of our specialty areas, is education.
I've also noticed that you don't do any advertising a whole lot.
No. We deal mostly with print brokers. And brokers are people who go out and they sell to customers. Well, over the years, one of the things that's happening in the industry is there's less and less printers, like paper companies, because of the internet technology. There's just everything is right now going is that the paper industry is shrinking, the printing industry is shrinking. You've still got people with immense knowledge out there, and they still want to be in the business. Well, we have the equipment, they have the customers. So a lot of what we do is, it's just a combination there of who does what. I was hired because it's the business, as you know, is all changing. Everything is changing because of the internet, flash drives, all these things. So we're playing with the game too to see what's going on.
With 500 print companies in DFW, what makes your company special?
What makes us special?
Yeah.
Great question. I think it's a dedicated staff. We've got people, our general manager, Philip, he's been up there 7 days a week working. We have an extremely dedicated group of people who work very hard. They're very dedicated to what they do. Whatever it takes to get it done, we do. And we've done it extremely well. The owner is very financially minded about his company and what happens there. We have, Philip's been is 32 years old, and he's been doing this for basically since he's 16. So he knows the industry very, very well. So I think that's where we do. We have phenomenal, fantastic customer service.
Great. That's nice to know. I was going to ask you also, do you work with the average person that walks in and say, hey, I need, do you also do shirts, right?
We do shirts. We do, I've done political printing, so what we've come up with is we've done silkscreen, we've done banners, posters, signs. We've become very proficient at doing all this. But the average person, no, we don't. And the real reason behind that is we might be picking up somebody else's, one of our brokers or one of our print brokers' customers. So we're very conscious about staying away from their customers. So, and it is myself being going out, I kind of know who our customers are, and I know who we call on and who we service. So we're very conscious about that too.
Okay.
So we try to make certain we know what we're doing and stay within our bounds of customer service.
The key thing here on FlexPress is what you said, customer service.
Right.
That's what we're looking for.
One other thing, and I'll bring this up right now, is digital printing imaging is the greenest of all of the printing industry. The only thing you have is paper, toner, and that's it. in the cartridge. The cartridge so the cartridges go back to Xerox or they're sold. The toner either winds up on the paper, and the paper, if it's not used or we've trashed it, it winds up being sold back to a company. The toner that's on the paper, it goes right back too. In fact, at one time, Simpson Paper Company, which was bought by Neenah Paper Company, had a paper that had all the toner particles in it. So they went and bought the waste, refurbished it, made it into a paper, a writing grade that had all the toner particles in it. So there's no federal government coming around and saying, what are you doing with all the chemicals? You're disposing of them correctly. So we're seeing these things where they're just much safer. It's just a better deal for everybody in the industry.
Right. That's nice to know. Also, what kind of special deals can you offer our listeners?
Great service.
Great
I think
service.
that's the best thing we can offer anybody is great service. Again, our customers are either who I call on or somebody that we need, we have our brokers and we take care of them first. That's the best way to say it.
Okay. Once again, Steve, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, what's the phone number they can dial to get a hold of you?
It's 214-862-2385 or steve@flexpress.com.
Or they can go to your website, which is?
Flexpress.com.
There you go. I think they're going to put it up on the website here in a little bit.
Okay.
But Steve, we thank you for dropping by the DFW Business Hour. It's great talking to you about digital imaging. You you explained to us a lot of stuff that I didn't know. That I used to be a printer operator, but you gave us some education on the digital imaging. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Once again, this program will be on demand later on during the day, so check it out today. Tell your friends. And be sure to go out to DFW Facebook and do a like on DFW Business Hour. And we thank you and have a wonderful and blessed day.